good evening as I knock stuff all around my desk because that's the best way to start off a show. Anyway, everything has survived up to this point anyway. So, um, interesting weekend, has it not? I mean, wow. A lot of insanity from big tech, to the interstates of I-95. I mean, it's insane. Insane. So I want to talk about I-95. I want to talk about this with Facebook. I want to talk about what happened in Los Angeles. My goodness. In the span of the time since I've spoke with you, it's kind of really escalated. So I really don't have any updates as far as we are concerned, other than for those that may be interested now or in the future. I did start doing a morning newscast that runs Sunday through Friday, so 6 days a week on Patreon. So, and it's been at 8:30 so far, so that seems to be a good time. That gives headlines a chance to start populating, and then I pop on about 8:30 or so, chat for a bit. A lot like this, but much more relaxed, and I'm gonna do a lot of the shows with my pocket too. So in other words, I might venture outside to the table and sit down with a cup of coffee or what have you. It won't always be just sitting here at the desk. So that being said, pardon me, this morning, it was sitting here at the desk. And one of the things that I shared with everybody is a video from an incident that had happened this weekend. And so I'm not going to play the video here. I did play it for Patreon earlier, and the reason why is because the channel where it came from, I assume that they did it. Somebody else could have did it. I don't know who did it, but had marked the video private. So it's not something I want to put back out there on YouTube just in public. So I figure we don't have many patrons. I don't think it's going to cause a big issue to have it on Patreon. But nonetheless, and I mentioned Facebook and their warnings. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say on that particular thing, other than from all the indicators that Facebook has given us on said extremist groups. I would like to know when and what they're going to do about the United States government, because it is our government that fits the list of what I would consider one of those extremist groups, be first and foremost before anybody else. So when Facebook wants to deal with that, I'll be more than happy to pop some popcorn. So back to I-95, and I only say that because it for some reason sticks out. Wakefield, I think it was Wakefield, Massachusetts, was the location of this on Highway I-95. And it was a group of individuals that called themselves Moors, or I can't remember the exact full name of the group just off the cuff. But what it is it's essentially a militia, and they do have their own beliefs and whatnot, which I don't know a lot of details about, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I do or make stuff up or anything like that, because I think that's ridiculous and there's too much of that goes on. These are what most people would consider different individuals, a different group. I consider them a constitutionalist group, because that's what I've seen. That's exactly what I've seen. Just real quick here, and again, I'm not going to play the whole video. I'll play like 10 seconds of it. There's like almost 16 minutes in total. I'll play just maybe about 10 seconds. Let me bring it up for you guys. 1 second.
Job, because we respect government, we respect laws, what information they need from us, so that way we can just go to court, we all go home, and we can continue on our peaceful journey.
I mean, does this sound to you like what the media was putting out there? Oh, that caught me off guard. You'll probably hear fireworks and stuff going off for the obvious reasons. So anyway, there was some whistling bottle rockets that just went off. So, but anyway, so what apparently was going on was these gentlemen were traveling from, I don't know exactly, I can't remember if he even said where they were coming from, but they were on their way to some private property where they do training, and they were just traveling through. And apparently, and I have looked into the different laws that this gentleman has stated, and I do believe he's got grounds. I don't see where he does not have grounds. This man is speaking from knowledge, plain and simple, and can do so from memory. He doesn't have to look at notes. So when you look into this group, you find out that this isn't their first dance. This isn't nearly their first dance. And from what I can tell, they're typically rather successful when they take on cases. So, don't believe everything the media tells you, because I've got 15 minutes and 47 seconds of video that will tell you a totally different story than what all of the mainstream media is, and probably at least 99% of the alternative media, because the only real place they're getting their information is from the mainstream media. I was fortunate to have gotten a copy of this before it went bye-bye. And I didn't get the other two. There were 3 total videos. The other 2 were like 5 minutes and 6 minutes or something like that. I did not get the other 2. So, but I did get this one. And I'm sorry, I didn't say what they were doing is they needed to refuel. And so per law, and I didn't explain this, per law, they are permitted to apparently travel bearing arms, okay, without interference and whatnot. I don't remember the exact laws. You would have to. They've got a lot of videos, and I'll show you. Just give me a second. I'll show you their YouTube page. They've got a lot of videos and stuff. But apparently, you can travel bearing arms, okay, without being interrupted. One of the stipulations is that you have to. How was it that he awarded it? You can't make any unnecessary stops, I think is the words he used. And so that's why they were carrying gas cans with them in one of the vehicles and was actually refueling on the road, was so that they didn't even have to pull off the highway. They had their entire trip planned out so that they didn't even have to pull off the highway other than off to the shoulder so they could refuel. But I mean, they didn't have to take any exits or anything like that and go into any towns or anything like that. And apparently that this is all within legal right. Okay? I'm not a lawyer. I can't sit here and tell you all the ins and outs, tops and bottoms and all of that. I can't even pretend to. I'm not going to try. Not my job. But what I'm telling you is, from every indicator that I can tell, these individuals were within the law. And law enforcement overstepped their bounds in the initial encounter. So we'll see how this goes. But like I said, and I want to reiterate this is not their first dance. Not even remotely. Hang on a minute, right? Hang on here. Nope. Well, I wonder if they disappeared off of hang on. No, that's them. Okay. I was gonna say. Hang on.
Peace.
I didn't mean to click on the video. There. Sorry. That's the group. And I subbed them just to watch to see if anything else comes out. Nothing yet. But let me show you. You go down through the list and you see a whole lot of stuff talking about law. Okay? This is not their first dance. So, I am going to personally keep an eye out and see if I can find out what happens in the end with this. But I'm of the mind that I think these guys are likely going to walk and probably get a pretty good paycheck at the behest of the taxpayer. So, from what I can tell, they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. So, anyway, I figured I would show you that. Again, I'm not going to play the whole video or anything like that. If you can find a copy of it somewhere, that's fine. Otherwise, we did put it on Patreon this morning. So, and it's there, so it can be viewed at Patreon. That was this morning's news episode. But anyway, that was one of the crazy things that happened. Mentioned Facebook again. I could sit here and whine and cry or whatever. What are we gonna do? I think it's bizarre. I think it's concerning, to say the least. Let me get that. That drives me nuts seeing it. I think it's bizarre, and I've been ever since that started happening on Facebook with those notices. I've been searching in my mind, trying to figure out something that they might be up to. We are living in some very bizarre times, and I would be very, very mindful especially of the things that you do on social media, things you say and stuff like that. Just be mindful. And this is coming from somebody that does the best I can at bringing you honest news. But there's a difference, and I've pointed out many times to people, I haven't had a bunch of problems with YouTube. I haven't had a whole lot of problems with Facebook. And I think, I firmly believe that it's because I tell the truth. I'm not running with all this craziness that so many are today. I don't run with it. Every little crazy story, oh my goodness, let's run with it. This has got to be true. No, that's not responsible. And if anything, that's what I want to be. I want to be responsible with what I do here, because I think it's important. I don't think that I'm important. I think that this job is important. And unfortunately, I'm not. And there aren't many people out there doing this. Not in a truthful, honest way. And it's sad. It truly is. Anyway, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, and it was, the title of the show was more geared towards this. What is going on in Los Angeles over the weekend? I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to show you. Let me just show you. It's, in my opinion, rough. Don't get me wrong. I don't think rough in the manner of, oh, it's the most violent thing I've ever seen. No. Not even remotely. But the idea of what was going on and why people were there and blah, 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 and just how quick the violence escalated into what level, that part of it was shocking to me. So let me make sure I mention very clearly, because this gentleman said that I guess he's good with us showing his content, but he just wants to make sure that he's given credit. So anyway, it's Sean Carmichael, I believe is how you say his name. The Twitter handle is A Cat with News. So A Cat with News. So all of this is going to be from that Twitter feed. So got some excellent stuff. Absolutely excellent stuff. So I'm just kind of trying to whip down as quick as I can, because it kind of starts away down here. I'm not going to play a ton of videos, so don't think I'm going to play a ton of stuff. I'm absolutely not. But there are some that I think are kind of important to get the narrative of what happened. And these were only a couple of things. There was somebody that was stabbed. I don't think there's actual video of that. I could be wrong. I'm coming up to the okay, yeah, this is the first one I wanted to show you. And I'll bring it up full screen.
What am I doing? Get the fuck out! I just told you, keep walking! Keep walking! Go! Get the fuck out! Fuck you! Get the fuck out now!
If you want to let me borrow an umbrella, I can get really high. Yes, please.
No safe space for chuds! Get the fuck out! You people don't fucking belong here! Get the fuck out of the neighborhood! Sorry, I'm sorry. Get his shit! Keep going. Keep pushing. Push. Push, team. Push.
Go! Get the fuck out of here! You don't want to get your ass kicked? Get the fuck out of here! Get out! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get the camera! Get the camera! Get the fuck out!
Get the fuck out!
Go home, racist!
Go home and cry to your wife and kids that don't love you anymore.
Get him! Fucking racist! You're not welcome here! Take your transphobia back to the valley!
Back to weak spot.
Fall back, fall back, fall back! Fall back! Fall back!
Like I was telling Patreon this morning, that's mob action. There's no two ways about it. That's mob action. Why is nothing being done? I mean, I'm not choosing a side here. It's not my job to choose a side. But there is right and wrong. That's not choosing a side. And nothing's being done. And this is my concern. Like I was telling Patreon this morning. Okay, this is the action. What you're seeing happen now and what's been going on for well over a year. What are we going on 2 years or maybe even more now? That's action. Action. My question is, what is going to be the reaction? Because we really haven't seen that yet. But when video like this comes out and you see a single person like this, and I don't know who it is, I don't know the whole story or anything like that, I have no idea. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Because when a video like that goes viral, other people don't know the details either. They see what we see. And what I saw there was what you consider mob action. And it's only a matter of time before individuals start planning for this to happen, expecting for this to happen, and getting ready to react to this happening. And I'm telling you, it's going to happen soon. It's going to be this summer. You better bet it's going to be this summer. People have had enough. People have had enough. That's just one. Like I said, I'm not going to show them all to you. Again, the channel or the Twitter feed I want to make sure people know is Sean Carmichael. A Cat with News is the Twitter handle. Here's another one of the videos. I'll show this one to you too. I'll bring it up full screen. This was another one of the incidents that happened.
I'm looking for me. I'm looking for him. What? We want you to go to heaven. Only Jesus to heaven. You're going to get hurt. Let him turn around and walk. Let him turn around and walk. Don't go down the lane. You don't want to be here. Go down the lane. You don't want to be here. Fuck you and your fucking hate. Get the fuck out.
I wanted to point something out to you that I pointed out to Patreon this morning. So I noticed that there was a person, this person right here, that is claiming to be press. And on the back of their outfit, it clearly says press, big letters. And right here, you can see where it says press. Not quite so big. It almost looks like it might say police. It's kind of hard to tell the difference. Also, they've got some type of thing here on their chest that almost appears like it would be some type of a seal or a badge or something official. The rest of their attire makes them appear like they could possibly be a riot cop. You notice that? I don't think that this is press. And if you, pardon me, if you watch how they move around the other individuals, you can tell by their body mechanics, how they're moving, how they're looking. It's not press. I'll shut up and I'll play the video. I wanted to point it out. You watch, you be the judge yourself.
Gotta go. Fall back! Yo, come on, look behind you! Fall back!
Hey, everybody, stay.
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! Pedophile asshole! Come on! Back up, back up, back up! Get up and go! Get up and go! Hands up! Yeah, I am! So get up and go! I am! Hey, hey, get up and go! Back up! Get up and go!
Back up! Back up! Get the fuck out!
Get out of here, buddy. You don't belong here. Get out of here.
Yellow! Stick together! Yellow! Jesus loves trans people, okay?
Where's police? Where's the police? I mean, now, don't misunderstand me. They were there. Throughout this list, you will see it pummeled with altercations between Antifa and police. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that there were none there at all. But I think there's plenty of time transpiring in these videos for them to do something. There was, I believe, another one that I played earlier that's an interesting one to watch. I mean, it was like craziness the entire time. That was the messed up part. Hang on. This is the one I was gonna play here. I don't know if I've seen this one.
What did Jesus say? What did Jesus say? And now you're talking about fucking men. Fuck you.
Why are you still here? Get your fucking ass out of here! Go! Fuck out of here!
What you gonna do? Are you pushing women, you fucking coward? Don't fucking touch me! Come on! Come on, motherfucker! Don't touch me! Yo, don't touch him, bro. Leave him. Man, fuck you for protecting this piece of shit! What's up? Hey. Jesus Christ!
And now, finally, the police assembled. You mean they couldn't have put together 20, 25 men real quick to get out there? And, I mean, this is being allowed to happen. That's something that we need to understand. This is being allowed to happen. But the big question is, as I've already asked, what is going to be the reaction? It's not going to be much longer. People have had enough. People have had enough. Now, again, I'm not taking a side on this issue. I do have my personal views on this issue. I don't mind sharing my personal views on this issue. I think it's extremely wrong for a man to show his genitals to a young child. That's wrong. Again, right and wrong is not a side. It's right or wrong. So, I don't have to be a quote-unquote Jesus freak or anything else to understand why there might have been people there expressing their disgust with the activities that was going on at that particular facility. I get it. In the United States of America, that's one thing we have the right to do. Peaceably assemble and protest, in which those individuals, the religiously affiliated individuals, I don't know what to call them, I don't know what group they're with or anything other than, you know, I jokingly call them Jesus freaks. Gotta understand, I'm a Jesus freak. So when I say that, it's in love. So I get why they were there. What I don't get is what they did to deserve to be violently attacked. Because that's what happened. I have long suspected that there are ties with this Antifa group, with some dark elements of our own government. And it sure It sure appears that way. They're wanting that reaction. That's what they want. They're wanting, the powers that be want that reaction. And sadly, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. It's just a matter of time. And I think people have about had enough. That one man in that last video clip got smacked hard in the head with a skateboard. I don't know if you guys caught that moment or not, but he got smacked in the head pretty hard with a skateboard. And I mean, from what I could tell, it seemed like it was like the edge of the skateboard. It wasn't even the flat of it. It was like the edge of it. But anyway, insanity. And that's Los Angeles. That's what's going on in Los Angeles. That's not even Portland or, Seattle, where all the other issues with Antifa were so prevalent and so bad. This was Los Angeles. So, and I know that things have been pretty messed up there too, but I didn't think it was as bad as Seattle and Portland. Anyway, I wanted to show you that. I guess I'm going to go ahead and jump into headlines and get through them. We have all the way from Friday till of course, the show. So we'll go ahead and get those knocked out of the way, get our Monday out of the way, which is obviously Sunday. And we got a noisy neighbor. No, I don't know. There's somebody over there that's lighting them off. I'm sure you guys can probably hear it. Doesn't bother me. I used to be that guy, so. Fun time. All right, starting out with Friday's headlines. White House brags about 16-cent price drop for July 4th cookouts in 2021. Netizens not impressed. Were you? Were you impressed that your average 4th of July cookout was 16 cents cheaper? I hope so. I hope you were appreciative of that and that you sit down and wrote Biden a thank you letter. So, anyway, Queen Elizabeth II statue toppled in Canada on national holiday, marred by grim discoveries of unmarked graves at Catholic hospitals. Canadian village wiped out by fire amid extreme heat as 90% of homes, including critical infrastructure, is gone. U.S. troops leave Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, signaling imminent complete withdrawal. Chinese yuan's share of global currency reserves hits new high. Orban blasts Dutch colonial mentality after Rutte tells Hungarian PM to respect LGBTQ+ or leave the EU. With Delta variant raging, Russia reportedly asked metallurgists to cut use of oxygen as hospitals need gas for COVID-19 patients. Russia and Eurasian partners gear up for Shanghai Cooperation Organization's 20th anniversary. Body represents 3.2 billion peoples. Wow, that's hard to get through that one. India's oil demand expected to return to normal by the end of the year. Pronounced dead in motorcycle accident, Brazilian man gets miracle rescue after reporter noticed the body bag moving. So, yeah, dude was pronounced dead, laid out, and the reporter noticed the body bag moving. I'm not quite sure who would have been more freaked out over all of that, waking up in the body bag or being the person outside of the body bag seeing the person wake up in the body bag. I don't know which one would be more horrifying. Taiwan to obtain variant-busting Novavax shots through COVAX global sharing scheme and bid to boost lagging inoculation campaign. Virgin Galactic stock skyrockets as Richard Branson aims to beat Jeff Bezos into space. The privateer space race is on. I must admit, I kind of can't wait. But whatever happens, happens. I'm just saying. Cyber hack dispute. Russian diplomats say Moscow not behind attacks on U.S. targets, but is itself constantly bombarded by Americans. Australian government cuts overseas arrivals quota in half as nation battles to contain COVID outbreaks. Pulling a Trumpy, Brazil's Bolsonaro says he won't concede defeat to fraud in next year's election. Still on Friday's news. As Russia breaks COVID-19 death record for fourth day, poll reports economic concerns mean most oppose new lockdown as solution. India's official COVID death toll climbs past 400,000, but real figure could be drastically higher. London man charged with assault after viral video showed him harassing UK COVID official Chris Whitty. Norway to pay compensation for AstraZeneca side effects as patients who suffered from Pfizer and Moderna watch and wait. Myanmar imposes lockdown on 2 million residents amid rising COVID cases and anti-coup health workers strike. Ukraine's Zelensky slams Russia's Putin for saying both nations are one people, despite saying the same thing years before. Still on Friday, huge blast at Romania's largest oil refinery sends black smoke billowing into the sky. OPEC Plus tries to reach compromise on oil output policy as UAE blocks production boost. Russian court takes bankrupt man's only home to pay off debt for the first time in history. He is given a small flat as replacement. Fighting rages near New York as government forces battle breakaway militia, but U.S. thanks Ukraine for naming town in its honor. So apparently that's New York, Ukraine. Let's see. Man arrested after trying to smuggle explosives through Afghanistan airport in musical instrument. No state cover-up. French government refuses to apologize over Pacific nuclear test radiation levels. U.S. asks Afghanistan's neighbors to shelter its ex-employees who fear Taliban retaliation after troop pullout, says the media. Leftist Mélenchon denounces Macron for opposing crop tops in French schools and likens him to Iranian ayatollahs. England's COVID-19 prevalence shoots up to 1 in 260 people as Delta variant fuels rise in cases. Still on Friday, should be coming close to the end of Friday, I think. Boeing cargo plane lands on water off Hawaii after engine trouble. Jeff Bezos to step down as Amazon CEO after 27 years. I wonder if this is like something preventative in case what comes up doesn't come down. Or it comes down in a bunch of pieces. 1/3 of French COVID-19 infections are extremely transmissible Delta variant, says Health Minister. Fourth wave possible. The UK receives more than 6 million applications for EU settlement scheme as deadline passes. I wonder if his life insurance would cover that. Being tinseled. Let's see. Silver lining for unknown reasons. Global data shows allergy sufferers more protected against COVID-19, Russian scientists say. French Senate considers mandatory COVID vaccines for adults aged 24 through 59 in effort to curb potential fourth wave. Angela Merkel says vaccinated Brits should be able to enter Germany without quarantine in foreseeable future. Hundreds protest in Istanbul as Erdogan withdraws Turkey from international treaty protecting women's rights. A U.S. Supreme Court refuses to hear LGBTQ rights case involving businesses that refuse to cater for same-sex weddings. Slovakia to roll out cash prize scheme to incentivize people to get vaccinated. U.S. troop withdrawal from Afghanistan to be complete by the end of August, says the White House. A Lebanon security chief faces prosecution over fatal Beirut port blast. Trusted friends and hateful language filter. Twitter's concept features to allow users to choose who and what they want to hear. Housing trans women convicted of sexual offenses in female prisons is lawful, says England's High Court rules. So, let me say that again so you understand. Housing trans women, okay, convicted of sexual offenses in female prisons is considered lawful by England's high courts. Are you following that? Trust women to deliver peace. Military interventionist Samantha Power says gets reminded of her own history of promoting war. Minneapolis judge orders city to hire more police officers after residents sue over crime rates. Still on Friday. Wow. Lithuania declares emergency appeals to EU over flood of Iraqi migrants from Belarus. Turkey will continue exploratory gas drilling in eastern Mediterranean, says Erdogan. South Africa posts national one-day record of 24,000 new COVID-19 cases amid third wave surge. Let me have a sip of tea. Friday's taking forever. All right. Biden administration defends celebrating 16-cent savings on July 4th barbecues despite dramatically rising gas prices. Underwater fire erupts at pipeline in Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, that thing's pretty impressive. Another Florida residential tower ordered evacuated after safety audit as Surfside death toll reaches 22. Again, this is Friday's news. No more boys and girls. Disney World pulls gendered language from fireworks show greeting, now welcoming dreamers of all ages. So now even Disney World is so woke, they can't say boys and girls. Vatican hails vaccinations as one of the greatest achievements of modern science in push against vaccine skepticism. Colossal and devastating, a ransomware attack targets hundreds of U.S. companies, says cyber researchers. Oh, look, we are to yesterday. Saturday's news. Yay! All right. Boys ages 8 and 9 charged in failed shooting of a man found dead on running tractor in South Carolina. Trudeau condemns spate of arson attacks on Catholic churches as Canada reels from unmarked grave scandal. Ohio school expels students over false and misleading attacks from parents as they wage war on critical race theory curriculum. You know, doing the Jen Psaki circling back, you know, it doesn't appear to me that the Canadian government is really interested in doing anything to the churches, which is astonishing, because the same damn thing happens here in the United States with all the sexual abuse. It's crazy. If only there were something that the people could do. If only there was something that the people could do to put a stop to it. If only. Tourist hub Bali swept up in Indonesia's harsh lockdown despite 71% vaccination rate as country's infections spike. 2 killed, 20 missing as powerful landslide plows through houses due to heavy rain in Japan. Russian export duty for sunflower seeds comes into effect. Prankster Ohio police chief, listen to this. Prankster Ohio police chief resigns after putting KKK sign on black officer's desk. This morning, when I was doing the morning report with Patreon, I'm like, how could you walk in one day and be like, this is a good idea? And no matter how well you know this guy, no matter how much you've joked around with this guy, you can't possibly think this is a good idea. It's mind-blowing. Russia's wheat exports surged over 7% during current agricultural season. IAEA mission hails security of Belarus' first nuclear power plant while Baltic neighbors consider it a threat. Ooh. You missed it. It didn't go on long enough, but maybe I could have turned the webcam. You might have been able to see it out the window. I don't know. Let's see. Probe launched after Ukrainian man loses consciousness and dies 4 hours after taking Pfizer COVID vaccine. White House claims Kamala Harris is being sabotaged from within as staffers complain to media about shit show inside VP's office. Black Lives Matter gestures given green light for Tokyo Games as Olympic chiefs confirm athletes can kneel before events are held. China's foreign minister calls for international Great Wall of Immunity to stop COVID-19. Something's afoot. Row breaks out after this is insane too. Female Ukrainian army cadets forced to march in high heels. Kiev pledges to change shoes. I don't know what's worse. The Air Force, the U.S. Air Force, no longer really demanding any physical competence or that. Iran will be swept by 5th wave of COVID if authorities don't fight Delta variant, says President Rouhani. Italian cardinal among 10 people charged by Vatican in landmark case involving embezzlement and money laundering and extortion. Nah, you don't say. Can't tell me that anywhere whatsoever that Catholic entities might be involved in something not pleasant. Former EU chief... Hang on. Okay, sorry about that. Former EU chief Donald Tusk returns to Polish politics and bid to unseat evil ruling party. French luxury giant LVMH reportedly stopped champagne deliveries to Russia over certification dispute. UK's 4th largest supermarket, Morrison's, agrees to £6.3 billion takeover by SoftBank-owned Fortress Investment Group. Hacking attack forces Swedish supermarket chain with 800 stores to shut down. Workplace deaths and dismissals scarier than COVID. Labor unions hold massive rally in Seoul despite PM's warning. We're still on yesterday's news, by the way. Police issue shelter-in-place order for Massachusetts town as several armed men flee into the woods, and that's what I was talking about at the top of the show. Straws, coffee cups, and more outlawed as EU single-use plastics ban goes into force. Because they're brilliant, just like California, or whoever. New York Times keeps book about censorship off its bestseller list. Disgruntled publisher complains to the media. Activists spray black paint over LVMH's posh Parish store to protest inequality during pandemic. Black owners, this is insane, black owners of a Texas restaurant accused of racism after introducing extensive dress code. So, let me make this clear. They're accused of being racist by other black individuals. And I'm just going to be just open about it. They put it in much kinder language, and I'm not even going to try. Basically, they don't want people coming in there dressed up as hoochie mama. They don't want saggy pants. They don't want hoochie mamas. They don't want that in their establishment. Hey, we all know damn well there are plenty of suit and tie places. Nobody really got a problem with that because we understand that's what they expect. They have a dress code. I don't see why they can't have a dress code at their establishment as well. So, but apparently they're being called out as racist because they apparently it's a very, very family-oriented restaurant. Apparently it's a very nice restaurant. I guess turkey legs are the big thing there, I guess. And but apparently it's a really, really nice restaurant, and they want to keep it that way. I'm all for that. Florida state to demolish rest of collapsed building ahead of approaching tropical storm as death toll reaches 24. Again, this is yesterday's news. Most disturbing interview, celebrity judge Joe Brown shocks with bizarre rape by seduction Bill Cosby defense. Yeah, that's just mind-blowing. Israeli cargo ship gets attacked by an unknown weapon and catches fire in the Indian Ocean, says reports. A White House turns the tables on defund the police slogan, suggesting it was Republicans' idea all along. Over 300 Afghan troops fleeing from Taliban cross-border to Tajikistan after heavy fighting, border forces tell the media. Still on Saturday. Biden not sure if Russia is behind recent cyber attack. He says, I told Putin we will respond. So, or something like that. He probably didn't say it in those words. It was probably like, come on, man. I store to the fort and then car to the basement. You know, come on, man. It was probably more like that, but anyway. Antifa assault protesters at rally against California spa allowing transgender woman to expose genitalia to girls. I told you about this, the protests and the fights and all that. It's crazy. If you love your country, you're probably on the right. New York Times panned after suggesting U.S. flag now represents conservatism. And I've been warning people for a long and a very, very long time that they are going to do everything they can to get rid of the American flag. They are going to demonize the American flag. You can count on it. Biggest U.S. teachers union adopts measures to promote and defend critical race theory, says controversial 1619 project. I'm thinking maybe the town here is having their grand finale, because I just heard a bunch of huge booms going off, so. Yep, still hearing them go off. I think I hear screaming, too. Like a bunch of cheering and stuff. It's possible. Rules are rules. Biden wades into U.S. sprinters' cannabis ban as anti-doping body accused of racism. Oh, that was This morning, sorry. Yeah, we are to this morning's news. Sorry about that. 29 dead, 50 rescued after military transport plane crashes in the Philippines. Russia doubles electricity exports as cold winter and hot summer ensure lucrative price environment. Astronauts at China's new space station conduct their first spacewalk. UK's leading retailers call for tougher laws to protect workers from shocking upsurge in violence and abuse. People above profit, thousands take to the streets in Brazil, angry with President Bolsonaro in new wave of major protests. I have a sip of tea here. And a vape. Oh my goodness. I think I'm almost there. Just about. A little bit of motivation. I don't think I read that one. Taliban captures key Kandahar district as Afghan troops suffer wave of defeats in wake of U.S. withdrawal. Slovenian PM says EU's imaginary values could trigger collapse of bloc amid hungry LGBT row. And I clarified for Patreon today that they're not saying that there are hungry LGBT people. They're talking the country of Hungary. Two different things. Hungry LGBT people and the people of Hungary, LGBT, yeah. Just to be clear. Personal responsibility should, I mean, I don't want anybody to misassume hunger or anything like that, or, Personal responsibility should replace government telling you what to do as UK learns to live with COVID-19, says Minister. Man. Let's see. Marine Le Pen re-elected as leader of French right-wing National Party leader, or National Rally Party, something like that. That was close. Yay. Ooh, they got blue moving. Let's see. Indian hospital closed amid fake COVID vaccine scam as 2,500 plus are feared to have been given saline and antibiotics instead. At least 4 killed as one of the most destructive fires in decades rages in Cyprus. Fireworks truck explodes on Maryland beach. Quote-unquote freedom fireworks celebrating Independence Day is canceled due to a Washington curfew. So, because of, a curfew, there will be no freedom fireworks this year. News of key witness lying is devastating for U.S. case against Assange. It must be dropped, WikiLeaks co-founder's ally tells RT. So we'll see. As Biden misses July 4th vaccination target, poll reveals how jabs become another demarcation in polarized America. Massive fireball off Azerbaijan coast, ministry blames volcano. Black people still aren't free. Congressional squad member Cori Bush says July 4th is about freedom for white people. Okay. Israel negotiates vaccine swap with another country after Palestinians reject expiring Pfizer jabs. UK to leave small number of elite troops in Afghanistan as ex-MI6 chief warns of likely civil war, says the media. And that's it. That's all of them. Fun times. Fun times. Interesting stuff. Anyway, I don't see any other headlines up there peeking at me. I think that oughta about cover it. I'm gonna get out of here, and I shall see Patreon in the morning, and I shall see all of you tomorrow evening, God willing. So, hope y'all have a good night. I hope y'all are safe. Don't get too crazy, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.